So we can do the Happy New Year for the UK. You're coming up next. Central Europe was an hour ago. UK coming up next. Then there's a bit of a lull as we cross the pond. Iceland, maybe? Well, that's good. What's up, Skyprop? Sean, Zach, Christopher, Frank, Rico B, Josh, Deanna, Tactical, Peter. Hey, what's up, Peter? Good to see you, man. We got Chris. We got the other Chris, Nick, Retro Puffer, Ron Paget. They want me to run an ad. I gotta close. I can't. It literally blocks the friggin' chat group. What's up, Strat CPO? Happy New Year, Kevin. Patrick Z, Bill Franz, got me as the guitar guy. And, of course, Bill Frank. Happy New Year. Majestic PB&J Cat. Got Coots 13, The Shape. We got Vimps. Fretless Ed. What's up, Speaker? Good to see you, buddy. Jay Schaff. We got Matt. We got BC Rich. Yeti Motzi. Rico B. Richard. Corey. Tony. Gary. IROC. Pete, I think we said Coots already. We got Super Lead. We have Happy New Year from Dublin. You're almost there. Are you there? Are you in that time zone that's 2 minutes away? Or you might be slightly closer. Maybe you're an hour from now. What's up, Mike G? What's up, Frank? Jimmy P. Yeti Motzi. Sassy Cat. You got the pick today. I was wondering you about that. If anyone had got their pick, because the friggin' mail service is so slow. I was getting a package. I knew I was going to be in trouble because I was getting a package, and it was supposed to. The guy who sent it to me paid for 3-day shipping, and it took 8 days. I was like, oh, that doesn't bode well. What's up, Vimps? What's up, the Gain Dane? See, I got it right. We got Rob, Frank C, and of course Donatus. And, of course, Yuck, and Chris, and Clockwork, and Ken, and Steve, and Candy, and Chicken Beak, and everybody. Joey, Fitzy, Stevie, Tommy, Bobby, Sully, Timmy, Mikey Fitz, Joey Fitz, Bobby Fitz. Got Joe, we got Ron, we got everybody. Happy New Year. You gonna hit any New Year's Eve party? In my pants. Actually, what's special about today's stream? Well, you see, every year we pick a day where we turn into the next year. I hope I'm not explaining this to you, but I feel like I am. You see, on that day, what we would call the last day, we have in the evening what we would call the New Year's Eve. I know, crazy. And welcome to Earth. What's up, Dan of NJ? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Chris. And Terry. Yeah, I gotta mansplain that shit. What's so special about it? Well, not every chat is special. But the one from Dave wishing me a Happy New Year and all a Happy New Year. It's very special. Thanks, Dave. What's up, Mike? Electro Omega. I got a lot, Quentin. Got everybody. Guitar sounds good. I really like the pickups in this. You know what I'm saying? I really like. And, it stays in tune because of the Floyd. And it's, it's in tune for my stuff. Anyway, Happy New Year to those in the UK. See, I'm doing all this mansplaining and we crossed over, damn it. So, Happy New Year to those in the Greenwich Mean Time Zone, GMT. How's the family 1 week later? Oh my God, it was like even the next day. So we weren't going to do anything on Christmas Day, and we all got up late, and we were sitting around in the afternoon, and my son came down, and oh my God, did he look like infinitely better from just even the day before, and he goes, I am feeling like so much better. You look better. Like, you literally, you could see it. And so the kids were like, well, maybe we can open up a couple presents. We wound up opening everything up. And some of us, not everybody, but some of us got new cups. Took a long time to find that cup, and we finally found one. And so, pretty happy about that. I'm like wicked happy. Yeah. So, it's like when Jack Black explained that Dio is the most powerful singer in the universe. Yeah. It's true, though. That's another person that made it hard to go to Metallica. It's hard to go from Dio to Metallica. I feel like, it's a big step down singing-wise. Riff-wise, they're pretty good, but the singing... What's up, Vimps? Byron. Ben Coombs, what's up, buddy? Just seeing you here now. I actually did get a new chair for Christmas. I got a new office chair. And I already dumped my old office chair up to the dump because they were open all week, which was awesome. Because everybody ran up there like Tuesday, Wednesday, and I strolled up on Thursday, and the place was empty. I loved it. 2 carloads of cardboard. Think about that. Like, literally floor to ceiling in the back seat, cardboard. And it's already flattened. Those are boxes that are already flattened, And then I put together the new chair, and then I just wanted to bring the box up, and I was like, why don't you just take the old chair up? So the old chair is gone now. I got the new one. Well, we'll see. It's, like my wife said it. She goes, how's your chair? I'm like sitting it. She goes, it's a little stiff. It's a little... she goes, maybe you'll break in. Maybe. We'll see. So, you still have that SG copy. The one from like a week ago? Yes. Oh, thanks, friend Yelly. I think I'm a returning subscriber. Why did you change your old name, Pixie Licks, or something like that? So I spelled Pixie Licks as a spoof on Lexi Fox, which was Foxxx. And a funny thing happens when you put 3 X's in a row. You get blocked from all kinds of sites. People were sending me screenshots. Then the adpocalypse happened, and like everything was just hurting, And in fact, when Steel Panther announced that Lexi Fox had left the band, they had to spell his name Lexx. They couldn't add the last X because they couldn't get the word out on either YouTube or Facebook or Instagram because they would block 3 X's in a row. So, it was all, funny in 2009, but then when we got to, I guess 2018, something like that, by then it was like they had really cracked down on anything so-called risque. So, had to get changed. That story never gets old, right, guys? They don't charge me to throw out furniture. The only thing they charge to get rid of is televisions. And quite frankly, this next time around, I have an old CRT TV that I have got to get rid of because Best Buy no longer takes CRTs. They only take flat panels, and for that they charge you $30 a unit. I can dump any TV, any television, whether it's a flat panel or a CRT, on hazardous waste day at the town for $20 a unit. Yeah, we were so cold, but the other day, was it yesterday and the day before, we hit 61. I will take it. You know? Yeah, no, YouTube got really, it was the adpocalypse, the quote-unquote adpocalypse. Once that happened, every video I posted, they said, we've determined this video may not be suitable for all audiences, so we're limiting its advertising reach. And it's like, oh my God, that happened every single time. And by the time they would figure it out, it would be like 4 or 5 days later. And anyone who's on YouTube will tell you that 90% of your income happens in the first 24 hours, right? It goes like, shoo, right down. The big long tail, but it's very low, right? The most money is like first day, second day. So if they're waiting 4 or 5 days before they say, oh, you know what? Yeah, it was actually a guitar video. And it was just those 3 X's were screwing us up. We weren't really sure what was happening. I knew. You know, I didn't get a new leg for Christmas, so I could use one. How's the Kramer Pacer holding up after 10 years? Pretty good. Pretty good. It's right there. It's right there. But I tell you, I've been playing this one so much. It's been sort of in rotation. So we opened up. So we didn't do the roast, though. We held off on the roast. We're actually doing the roast on Monday, day after tomorrow, because everybody has the day off, and the kids and everyone in my family. So that's the day like everybody can make it. So we're doing it Monday. Today we actually went out. We went to this place like what was it called? Like Maggie's Farm to Table. You know, and I thought it was going to be like this hoity-toity place, but it was very much like a Jake and Joe's or something. You know what I'm saying? Joe's American Bar and Grill. But I will say, everything did seem to be made from scratch, like across the board. It was really good. It was pretty good. Do I have a leg issue? Yeah, it started by driving up. I'm going to upgrade it to a motorbike. It was a moped, scooter, whatever you want to call it, at a high rate of speed. And then I crashed it. And then it's, the force equals mass times acceleration. And there was a lot of mass, and there was a lot of acceleration. So as you can imagine, it was a lot of force. Yeah, we didn't do prime. We never do prime rib. We tried a standing rib roast one year, and it didn't come out that great. We do the tenderloin. The only thing you got to do with the tenderloin is you have to prep it, right? You have to take this like silver skin off. That's easy enough. It's 15 minutes of prep. Everyone complains about it, but the prep isn't that bad. And you got to tie it up, and tie it all together in like a bundle, you know, and it comes out so much better. The discovering tying it up was like, it made it infinitely better than prior years. Yeah, the moped crash in Bermuda. You know, and then the funny thing is, it was either that or glass bottom boat ride. I was like, the goddamn boat would have sank. That's the kind of luck we were having. Probably would have friggin' drowned. But I'll tell that story next year. You got to remember, we wouldn't have been in Bermuda but for a snowstorm in February, right? That's the only reason we were in Bermuda. And quite frankly, we should have just gone to Ireland, because we had a friend getting married. We would have had to pay in a little bit more money, and the airline like ganked us to have us go to like Bermuda, which was like our closest international destination. It was a bit of a gank, by Delta. Remember seeing the x-rays of the leg? Yeah. Oh, I saw the x-rays too. In fact, that was the first time I had seen, I had heard about it, but I had never seen it before. It was the use of raw files, where the guy can literally, because it shoots raw, the x-ray was shot in a raw format, the doctor would sit there and he could expose it on the fly, brighten it and darken it, and it was like on a level that only a raw file could do, right? It's got all the data. It's just a matter of, setting it. It's basically a data dump from your camera. And of course, every camera does it now. My friggin' phone does raw files now if you set it to it and you're in pro mode. But, it's a bit of overkill. Though I will say, if I am shooting a photo, like when I shot my kids' yearbook photos, only shoot in RAW. Because you can bring it into Photoshop. And the difference between RAW and JPEG is like night and day. One you can barely work with, and the other one you can work with completely. Hey, what's up, Quentin? Have I tried any of the Neural DSPs? No, I have not. They look good, though. Like, I wouldn't mind trying the Neural, the hardware one. That looks pretty cool. I remember I was telling my friend, my leg was smashed. My leg was, I smashed my leg. I totally smashed my leg. And at one point he was like, dude, you got to stop saying smashed your leg, man. He's like, I feel like you're like, you're exaggerating it. And then I showed him the x-rays. He goes, no, smashed is the correct word. I'm like, I have 15 pins and 2 plates in there. How bad does it have to be before you call it smashed? He's like, no, you're there. You're there. Reminds me of the guitar you were playing when I first met you. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, I had one like this, but I already switched it to the. I think I already switched the neck on it by the time we met speaker. That was probably 87, somewhere around there. Right, and I might have had the Seymour Duncan Invader there, but I might have changed it out. That Invader was so strong. It's like, don't get your friggin' watch near it. It had a bit of pull. I wound up, I think, putting a DiMarzio in it, right? Like maybe a super distortion or like a. I don't think the Tone Zone was out yet. I feel like that came like a year or two later, but maybe that was a new pickup design for the new Gem series. I forget. Could have been a Duncan distortion. Or a super distortion. No, it wasn't Duncan. It was definitely DiMarzio. Thoughts on Rabia leaving Chapman? I think they left very amicably. And I think what it is that, Rabia's sort of blowing up. He's sort of becoming a thing. And he, much like Rob Scallon, wants to keep their options open. Because he probably feels that, if he wasn't, in with Chapman, that, and they had a good run, like a 10-year run. It's the first time I met Rabia was at the Chapman booth. And then when they came through town, we wound up going out to dinner. And Rabia is such a nice guy. They both are. Rob's a fantastic guy, too. And I just remember... both of them being super nice and very kind, and I just think that probably for Rabia, he's saying, if I wasn't with Chapman, maybe I could get in with Schecter or Ibanez or something like that. He doesn't play a ton of the Chapman stuff on stage because they have to change tunings so quickly that they were using the Variax for a while. And then I think he finally moved on because he said, as good as the Variax was, he didn't like their guitars. He didn't like the Variax guitar. And I think now they can play their regular guitars only within like the last year or something like that, because now there's a new floor model that does a much better job at changing the tunings. Like a much better pitch shifting than with the Variax. I forget if he added a... Did he add a a hexaphonic to that to accomplish it? I don't think so. I think it works straight off of audio. Ibanez has the 2023 lineup out, built in, but it'll have a 2022 serial number. Never forget that. That's the most confusing thing about Ibanez. The guitar you're looking at, the guitar I have that has a 1991 serial number doesn't appear until the 1992 catalog. That wasn't even a guitar in 1991, but it has a 91 serial number. That's why, and you know who does know it? Is the Ibanez Wiki, right? So if you had a first year RG560, they didn't have the silk screens ready, so everyone has like a little badge, like a little plate on the back. And has an 87 serial number. But if you go to the wiki, they go years available, 88 through like 92. Because you couldn't buy it in 87. It was just on paper. They're taking orders and producing them. But you couldn't get it until 88. Probably the last week in January, because they probably took orders at NAMM and they started shipping very quickly because they were ready to go. And we got ours like, what was that speaker? When did I go over there and get that? I want to say it was the first week in February, right? Something like that. We were over at the Knights of Columbus there in the square. And then we took a break. We went over. I got to think that was, I don't think it was the last week of January. I want to say it was like the first week of February of 88. We made it another year. We did. Happy New Year, Green Meanie. Yeah, from Ibanez, Germany, you could almost instantly decode the serial numbers. It's funny because I was talking to him about it. I go, yeah, the serial numbers a year off. He goes, you know, now that you mentioned that is true. I'm like, it is. It's always been like that. Happy New Year, Black Chew Bear. Happy New Year, Terry 3Gs. I'm sure Ibanez would reissue the Radius. I know, I don't think so though. Radius it depended on the year. I had two Radius guitars. One definitely had the thicker neck, and the other one had the thinner one. And they had two different size dots. So the one with the thicker neck had the really big dots, dot inlay. The dots. And I bought that one like for $260 cash in like downtown Cohasset at a dude who lived in an apartment like above a restaurant. And then the other one, because I was like, where are you? He's like, I'm above the restaurant. I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm at this address. It's like a restaurant. He's like, yeah, I'm in the apartment above it. And then the other one was a blue one. And that one came in filthy. I think I paid $2.99 for that. And looked so much better after I cleaned it up. That one had the smaller neck, but I didn't like the smaller dot inlays. It's like, if it ain't one thing, that's another. They both had a more rounded neck than the Wizard. I just kind of like the RGs. I like the RG 550 and the 560. Really, the 560 was the one I liked. I liked the single, double. And then they came out with the 570, I want to say, either a year or two later, either 89 or 90 was the first year of the Willie Nelson turns 90. You know, I hate to break it to you, but our beloved hermit crab, Mr. Krabs, passed away. We lost Mr. Krabs this week. You know what? He was molting, and it was so friggin' dry that despite our efforts to keep him warm and moist, we just couldn't do it. It was just too cold, I think. It was just what I would call a bad timing on the molting. You know, if this was in the summer, he would have been fine. But it was just too cold, and he didn't make it. So we lost Mr. Krabs. My wife was, I think, pretty, She'd been taking care of that crab for 10 years. And we have no idea how old the crab was when we got him, you know. And crabs don't live all that long. About 10 years in captivity, maybe 20, 30 years in the wild. But we were pretty bummed out. We were pretty bummed out, Mr. Krabs. In fact, he had, you could see he was still molting and hadn't quite made it out. And I said, he hadn't moved in 2 weeks. I go, I'm telling you, that crab is dead. She's like, I don't know. I said, I think so. And she said that when she checked the soil that it was actually really dry, you know, and she had moistened it and all this stuff. I said, I think it's too late for Mr. Krabs. And finally today, I said, enough, I'm going to check. And, yeah, he was long gone. My poor little dude, you know, he's with the clam now. So the ones in the fish tank seem to go no problem because you don't have to worry about keeping them hydrated. You know, all they have to worry about is having enough food. But he was a big hermit crab. You know, I would say that recently he had some really good times. We had loaned him to the local elementary school for the year, and he was in a very sunny window, and he was extremely active, and they loved him. But of course, it came to the summertime, and we took him back this past summer. And then the fall came, and they were like, actually, it was a lot of work, and they didn't want to take the crab back. We were like, okay, we'll keep him. And he went through the fall, no problem. And we upgraded him from a 10-gallon to a 20-gallon tank. And, you know, we made a little sand beach for him. He seemed so happy. And then we gave him right after the Thanksgiving dinner, we had some shrimp cocktail tails left over, and that's his favorite. And we threw a couple of those in, and he dug out under his little coconut shell home, and he dug out and he took because he was going to go molt. He buried himself in there and covered his door up, and he was in there with his two little shrimp tails. He had a nice meal to work off of. So he's in there chowing the shrimp tails and, you know, having a good time. And he never came out. Yeah, poor 40 for the crab. And then the other thing is that it was just, you know, they say you'll have an overwhelming fishy smell, but I just think it was just so dry that, right, it was... And my wife, and quite frankly, my wife and I had severe colds. We probably just couldn't smell it. You know what I'm saying? And then by the time we can smell it, right, our sense of smell comes back after having those colds. We probably were past the real bad fishy smell, you know. And so, yeah, poor Mr. Krabs. But you know, I found out that they actually breathe through a modified gill. And so they needed to be 80% moisture in there. And he'd be lucky if that was even 30%, you know. And that's soaking down everything and putting a trash bag over the top of the tank to keep the moisture in. And it's just you just can't keep him moist enough, you know, the poor guy. And at that particular time, you know, we had a dew point of -7, you know, and an air temperature of about 15. So... that's Fahrenheit. I mean, converting that to Celsius is probably -20. So we lost Mr. Krabs. And well, you have to worry about someone else to feed the crabs. You got to be careful because crabs. He killed all the other crabs and ate them. You know. Crabs will kill other crabs without a doubt, especially when they're molting and they're vulnerable. That's why you're supposed to. But he had nothing. He had no competition. You know, he was just living his life, and he had this nice new big tank. I swear to God, I remember him up on that little beach, looking out and saying I'm like, oh, you. My wife was saying, she goes, I think he's really happy. Sure. The other thing was a friend of mine who we went to college with. She was like this. I don't know if you've heard of like P-22. It's like is it a mountain lion or a cougar? I think it's a mountain lion. It was living out in L.A., sort of around the Hollywood Hills. Pretty famous mountain lion. He sadly had been struck by a car and was found suffering pretty bad. And they wound up having to euthanize him. And I know she like literally wrote a book on that friggin' cat. And, you know, was a part of like the California Wildlife Foundation. And so I know that she had a pretty crappy Christmas. She lost P-22. You know. Yeah, kids are screaming, he's eating them. Oh, no, though. Oh, no, crab will eat another crab. Oh, yeah. No, it's, no, they'll just wipe out. This one killed all the other ones. She remembers. The one thing I will never forget about the crab was that I could not clear the sink out on the second floor. And like, no matter what, I'm pouring like drink, you know, all kind of nothing, so clogged. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I finally get a plunger on it, and I'm plunging and I'm plunging and I'm plunging, and up, not down, up comes this like coconut, like a fiber shell, like it's like coconut fibers. And I was like, what the hell is it? And I'm pulling and I'm going, oh my God, Sherry! She's like, well, where was I supposed to put it? I'm like, out in the backyard, in the ground. You can't put that down the kitchen. She goes, well, I had to clean the tank out. She stuffed coconut shell fibers down the freaking drain pipe. Coconut shell fibers, you know why they use them? Because they don't break down, because they're impervious to water. And I'm like, ah. It's like, whatever I put down here, it's probably going to burn through the pipe before it burns through the goddamn coconut fiber. And it's like, it's just the fibers of the coconut shell. It's like they're like impervious to friggin' water. It's like, you cannot be... I can just see her stuffing that down. She goes, should I put it in the toilet? I'm like, the backyard! What are you doing? What? You can't even be serious. Oh my God. So that's my biggest memory of the crab. Yeah, walnuts, peanuts, pineapples, and coconut shells, all of that. The only thing we can say is he had a very long life, and he had a really good time at the kids. They put him like up on the heater. He was in the window. And my wife was saying he's so much more active. I go, yeah, because he's warmer and he's in the sun. They were on the sunny side of the school, and he was in the sun a lot of the day, and he like friggin' loved it. So that's probably, but you know, we're not going to. First, the other thing is that crab was a gift to my son, a birthday gift. You know, that my wife like just for years was like, who gives a goddamn pet as a goddamn birthday gift? I'm like, I'm with you. It feels like a burden coupled with a hassle. No, the sun wouldn't dry him out because they had that tank had a glass top. And so it was much better. The tank we had, they didn't have any glass tops she got a screen top, which we covered in a trash bag, in a plastic bag, but it probably wasn't enough. You know. Sweetwater has the Kramer Pacers for $279, so that's the one with the, I want to say they're in a blue or like a red. We can look it up. Like a blue or a red. And I actually have a link right there. Kramer. I think normally they're about $350. That about right? Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. 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 And you get $50 in bonus bucks, which I think you can use on future sales, right? So the lefties are a little. Oh yeah. Well, lefties are a little bit more, but the righties, $279, not bad. What do you like? Scarlet red, radio blue metallic, or purple passion? I think I'm going blue. I think the blue really works. It's more. It makes the neck pop a little more. You know. Yeah, yeah. And it's got the Floyd Rose special. I'm special. I'm so special. I got a Floyd Rose trim. I'm gonna stay in tune. Oh, yeah. Limited offer last day. Oh, wow. Purchase this item at Sweetwater and get $100 off. The price shown reflects your savings. So I see. So instead of $379, it's $279. Nice. And today is the last day. No pressure though. Wait, 8.1 pounds, 8.1 pounds, 8.1 pounds. That's incredibly consistent manufacturing. 7 pounds, 13 ounces. So if you want the light one, you got to go with this one. Yeah, I think it's Striker, not Pacer. No, that's a Pacer. Though, Christ, if you did like the numbers, it's probably cheaper for this on a dollar basis versus what a Striker was in 1988. In 1988, a Striker was $279, and this is the equivalent of probably like $100, maybe $110 in 1988. Good looking guitar. I like the maple. In the convenient claw adjustment holes. It's always appreciated. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Nice. That blue is spot on. I saw one in Guitar Center. That's a steal for $279. Yeah. No more cheap guitars. Well, the great thing about cheap guitars is that you can buy lots of them. You just bathe yourself in cheap guitars. What's the signal patch chain? I think I'm using. I gotta be using my standard. I gotta get that friggin' patch done. This has got to be the. This is the YJM. The DOG YJM. So basically, this is a Brit 87. Because I can't use the word Marshall. Channel 1 which is, I think, the clean channel, right? And but it has a DOD YJM 308 in the signal path, which is the Ingve overdrive. No, Strikers were not good quality at all. The guitar that we were just looking at is infinitely better than what they were doing back then, because, you know, the processes were just more clumsy, you know. They just were. Am I in P90s? I'm not in P90s right now. Am I into P90s? I had one guitar with P90s, right? The Harley Benton, which I gave away to somebody. I think that was it, right? The Dan Electro, which I sold, that had a P90 in the neck. If I was going to get a P90 guitar, I'd probably find like an SG. You see those, let me see if I can find it here. You kind of see them, they're like an SG, I don't want to say, is it the special? Gibson SG. Let's go a low to high. You know, a lot of tributes, tribute, or a tribute. That's the French. Yeah. Like, here's one. These are falling off the back of my head here. Yeah. Like this. Like that. Yeah, nice photo. When you click on the photo and the actual size is 25% of the, I mean, God, come on, cadre. And what I like about it is it's a gloss headstock. God, there's so many of these, or it's a matte finish. And I like the paint over the see-through. You know, nice. I think those look quite sporting. What else do we have? I think we got the same thing. SG Robot. SG Classic? Yeah. But I almost think that this one isn't quite as good, right? The tuners. Maybe they're the same. I don't think that's quite the same guitar. I don't know. I could have sworn they made one in, maybe they are the same tuners. I could have sworn they made the same one, but in like the Pelham blue. Maybe not. Oh, well, at least they don't have a used one. Oh, yeah, there it is. They do have a used one. Yeah, right there. Right there. I don't know, I think I might like the red better. You know, it's kind of a metallic red versus the Pelham blue. Now let's click it. Yeah, that's what it really looks like. Can you make it any fuzzier? Like, they're like, it's a Kodak from 2001. Anyway. I think, who else makes a P90? I think, I want to say Fender, like the Cabernita Telly series, is a P90 style. Picked up an 86 Kramer. Interesting. 86, they were still good. 96, not so much. The 90s were a tough year for Kramer, all of the 90s. And then they got better when they got picked up by Gibson. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Pelham Blue and Burgundy only. I think I like the Burgundy. Looked like wicked classy. I've never messed with humbucker size P90s. Though I will say that I do see occasionally on there a used like a Les Paul gold top, with the, classic, with the P90s, or traditional with the P90s. And they will have humbucker, like DiMarzio, or I think Duncan makes a humbucker P90. Temperature guns are on sale at Canadian Tire right now. They were, my wife bought me, she was like, I don't know what to get you. So you could walk into, Harbor Freight and just throw things in the cart that are on sale. There's almost nothing you can get there other than a pole saw. And she did. And she got me like this amazing pry bar. I'm like, oh my God, I could totally use this. Totally use this pry bar. And, she got me, what else did she get me? Like a rechargeable screwdriver. She's like, I feel like you already have some. I go, I do, but very often I'm like, where the hell is it? So if you have 6 rooms, you need, 6 screwdrivers. My cats did get some stuff for Christmas. They got a scratching post. We got a robotic little fish that only one of them loves. The other ones are kind of afraid of it. And I feel like we got some other toys too, but we hid them because they couldn't stop tearing them open because they probably have catnip in them. And now we have to find them. We'll do a cleaning. We'll find the cat toys. Exactly. She got me a hammer too. She got me like this little like half-pound ball peen. I'm like, I friggin' love this. How many times you just have a little thing, you just need to like, either tap a countersink or something like that just to do a little finish on it. And she's like, I just feel like you already have stuff like this. I'm like, I do, but how many hammers do you need? The answer is all of them. You need all the hammers. Exactly. You can't have too many rechargeable drills, screwdrivers, and spare batteries. I mean, come on. Come on. So, I learned that when I started to put, phone chargers at like every place I sat. I could just plug my phone in when I had to. Didn't have to, walk away. You have a butterfly toy, yeah. Yeah, it depends. You never know what's going to work with them. Some of them just, I tell you, one thing we got a few years ago are just like the little tunnels, for the cats to go in and out of, the little, they love those. Oh my God, do they love those little tunnels. They put something at the end and dangle it and they come sneaking in through the tunnel. Yeah, they do love the tunnels, I will say that. Cats run from the floppy fish. They all run except one, Cutie. Cutie was just all over it. She's like, I'm going to kill this fish. The other ones don't seem to have any interest in it. Exactly, just like you need guitars and amps in every room, thank you. And a TV in every room. Would it kill you to have an Xbox in every room? No. It's not overkill. Cats are terrified of Baby Yoda doll and cucumbers. Cucumbers are the known enemy of cats, though. Welcome, Kramer. Yeah, I didn't record. I ran out of time. I didn't record my guitars of the year. I didn't get too many guitars in this year, but man, did I sell a bunch. I feel like I sold like a half dozen guitars. Maybe more. Have an amp in every room but the bathroom. Well, the bathroom kind of has its own sound. You know. I got to say I've been kind of maybe jonesing for another acoustic, another Ovation. I've had one. I have like 4 acoustics, 2 Framers, the Larrivee, of course the Kramer one, of course this one here. But I don't know, there's just something about that, the neck and the play on that Ovation. I think it's an Ultra. I'd like to get like a Glenn Campbell. I think his signature model is like one of the better ones that they've done. I could have got one a few years ago. Absolutely gorgeous head to toe with the, the wooden truss rod cover and the carved bridge and like just absolutely ebony fretboard with the diamond inlay. It was like loaded the big deep back. I don't like the shallow bowl. I like the deep bowl. I think it's a better sound, more bass. It's just a better sounding instrument. And I could have picked one of those up for like $4.99, but they're like double now. Yeah, I figure. Yeah, right. It's been a new year for almost 2 hours for you. We're coming to you from the past. Like Ovations, but just feel the textured back. Well, it's a nice back. Yeah, the carbon fiber. I got the carbon fiber. I swear that's still not as quite as boom. I just changed the strings on my Ovation, and when I was done and I was playing through it, I was like, this really is a great sounding guitar. The volume knob on the top had gotten loose, and I got that tightened down, and I changed out the battery in it, and just kind of gave it a once over. And I was like, yeah, I really do love this guitar. It's probably the guitar I play the most just because it's right next to my desk. It's already kind of beat up, so I don't mind if it, bumps into things. And if I'm learning something really quick, I just pick up the Ovation. It's got a neck like an electric. Reach the point where you can't add any more beer to the system. It happens. I think, my Ovation is from, I want to say, it's a brown back, not a black back. I don't think they did brown backs after, 1980? Maybe 1978, right? Because the original one, they wanted it to be more like wood, so they used a brown material, so it would look more like wood, but then they just went to black, which was probably cheaper, and what they were using for the helicopter blades anyway, remember? Cayman was a helicopter blade manufacturer, and one of the guys just took the helicopter blade material and pressed it into a back, put a top on it, and called it a guitar. And eventually they made more money selling guitars than they did selling helicopter blades. So I gotta think that's a USA made, right? Had they gone overseas by 80 or 81? I don't think so. I don't think they went over until Applause came out, right? Wasn't that their overseas version? The Applause brand? Hey, perfecto. Good to see you, man. All right, this is for Perfecto, just because, you know. Hold on, let me get my trim. Okay, I gotta oil that trap. Yeah, I'll crank the amps at 12 midnight. If an amp is cranked in the woods, does anyone hear? Yeah. Have I played a Wolfgang EVH? I'm giving it some serious thought. I do have one nearby. I have an EVH standard, and maybe I'll get a special this year with the cav top. You know. Hairy Fishnuts. You know, I have the Hairy Fishnuts Berkeley breathed strip. I have the what do they want to call that? A print, signed and numbered by Berkeley breathed. Nothing will ever beat Death Tongue. What's it? Wait. I gotta listen to that one again. Does it end on the E or on the F sharp? I think the E. How are the synths? The synths are doing good. I know One Way to Rock. Only one way to rock. Yeah. I forget it now. I forget it now. It's probably very similar because it sounds. I'm hearing it, you know. Let's just switch bands right in the middle of that. Oh, now would be a good time to insert ads. That's not me. That's YouTube. I won't. We're next Christmas. Next Christmas. Ah. Do I play drums at all? No, I can't play drums. I can't play them with like my hands or anything, but my finger drumming is pretty good. I literally played a club gig when I showed up with my guitar, and the drummer never showed up. And I said, I got a drum machine in my car. I went and got my R8, sat down, plugged it into the PA. You know, it was mostly blues all night, but we had fun. Oh, thank you, Chase. Love the stream. Thank you for smiling. Oh, thank you. Wah, 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 wah. Happy New Year from London. You're already in the new year. We're trudging along here in 2022. Yep, the rolling human rhythm machine. Exactly. You can't see it, but it's up on a shelf over there. I still have it. You know? Tell you, this guitar stays in tune, man. I think just the R8. I think it's just R8. Which, at the time, I want to say I paid $1,100 for that thing. So, that was 1989. Let's just do a quick inflation calculator. If in 1989... something sold for $1,100. I'll call it $1,000. I'm pretty sure I paid $1,100 though. That's about $2,400 today. Not too many drum machines out there for $2,400 on the market. But at the time, it was the bleeding edge. Yeah, the Kramer Pacer. Welcome to the Boston area. Let's take the car to get a pizza. I have an idea. Let's get a pizza. There's a good cup. These are good cups. This is the first time I found one that's even close to the one I had. My wife wants to burn my old cup. You know? Is it a Copco cup? You know what? It might be. I think that's what my old one was. Or my old one was. This is. Well, it's dishwasher safe, microwave safe, BPA free. I'm not getting a name though. On the top, no. Caution, hot beverage. How do you know? I very often fill these with like OJ when I'm out on the road. You know, fill it with a juice, grape juice or an orange juice. Exactly, those always have to go somewhere. My son's getting more interested in guitar because he's starting to realize, you know, I keep playing all these other instruments and my dad has none. But when it comes to guitar, he's got a whole, you know, a buttload of guitars. So, like, why I should be playing guitar, right? And I gave him one of my, I have two Katana amps. I let him take one of the Katanas. You let him play any guitar he wants? Well, let's not go nuts. No. Now, these you can look at. These are for touching. To be honest, he's not even really interested. You know what he likes? He likes, I gave him a Squier Telly. He really likes that Telly. You know? Tell him, get your own damn guitars. Yeah, well, my son's into video games too. They're all into video games. It is. It's a classic vibe telly. I think I made a video on it a few years ago. This one back here, that guitar, that is a Harley Benton. Is it Hot Tone? I think that was what that they called that. I don't know what to do with that guitar because you know it doesn't stay in great tune. Certainly, especially if you use the trem. If you don't use the trem, you're probably pretty good. But I've never really been super into it. I thought I was going to be more into it, and I wasn't. And I think the pickups are kind of a little microphonic too. So you put that all together, and it gets very little use. Yeah, probably 10 years. I've been on YouTube for 12 years. Pouring rain in Providence. Oh God, how are they doing down? Is it going to be angry Steve Harvey tonight? We gotta check the radar range. I tell you, man, the one of the best New Year's Eves was when it was pouring out, and all the hosts had looks on their faces, especially Steve Harvey, like, are we really doing this? Are we really going to stand out here and do it? And the producers are like, yeah, you are. Oh yeah. Oh no, it's raining down there, but it looks like I'm seeing some yellows and some reds on the way. That's a pretty big chunk of water there. Looking at the old radar. They're saying we have rain through 1 a.m. Great. But you wonder if New York will clean up an hour earlier. It'll stop raining at midnight. And have a wonderful night. The best New Year's Eve ever was the one that Mariah Carey didn't have her like thing in place and refused to sing, and she just walked around from like part of the stage, and all the dancers were doing the act and they played the music. The producers had to be screaming in the background, and she was like, hey, okay, I guess I'm over here and I guess I'm over here because I'm not singing because you guys, you know, she like totally, like, it wasn't a meltdown. It was just basically like, yeah, I'm not doing that. She had a bit of a diva moment. Yeah, she just stood there. She walked around. She goes, oh, look, now dancers are dancing. Huh, yeah. Oh, I'm sure she still got paid. Absolutely. And she probably blamed them. And probably forced, like, their producers to, like, send her an apology. Yeah, you know. The worst was when Dick Clark had the goddamn stroke and still wanted to go out there. It's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, dude, give it up. What are you doing? And eventually, I think it took his death before he handed it to Ryan Seacrest, right? He did not want to let go of that rockin' New Year's Eve thing. You know, it was like the worst. And I'm sure it was because he forced it. I doubt the producers were forcing him to go out there and do that. I seriously doubt that. That was Dick Clark basically saying, I'm doing this. And they were like, no one was saying no to him. You know, and, you know, it came off as sad. You know? The colleagues was a segment producer, yeah, for Steve Harvey, and said he was a total asshole. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, Steve Harvey had a look on his face like, are we really doing this? Are we, like, guys? And he's standing there with an umbrella, and it is pouring. And he's going, I guess we're doing this. That's why you watch. That's why you watch. Because it's live TV. These guys are not used to this. They're creatures of comfort. They don't want to hear about it. And, oh, man. In fact, I think they finally banned drinking on the CNN one because, you know, what's his name there? The guy who does the Real Housewives things there. Got all drunk and started, like, trashing people in the industry. And the producers are like, what is he doing? And this guy sucks. And I hate this guy. It's too funny. That is good. This is a good cup. These are good cups. Got to find out the brand. They came 2 in a pack, though. It's like a double pack. But it's the only one that had the top that was the same. And my old one used to have this, but that broke off years ago. So, you know, it was nice to get a... This is as close as I found to the original ones. double walled and microwave and dishwasher safe, so worked out. Well, that was good. That is good. Making calzones, that sounds good. Play guitar, mine is thank you, Ben Tom. 22 is your first day back on the wagon. I think I'm on the wagon. Well, when I'm off the wagon. I think I'm on the wagon now. I tell you, it's been good. I have noticed that my breathing has gotten much better. But you know, not to gross you out, but let me see. I did take a photo. Yeah. That's what I was coughing up. I got to think that's not good. You know, that photo's a couple of weeks old, but still, that's disturbing. If that doesn't make you quit, nothing will. It actually looks worse there because that's dried, but yeah, it's still. I saw that and I was like, what am I doing here? You know, that's when I had the cold, you know, and I was like, what the hell am I doing? No, enough. Here we go. No, we out. I think the same thing, speaker. I think that's exactly what it is. I think it's a buildup of tar. And I will say that as the weeks have gone on, that has gone much lighter, right? Much more speckled than solid. So, you know, hopefully my lungs maybe can clear themselves out in 5 to 10 years. That's what they say. That's about what they say it takes. It takes about 10 years. So it's, you know, it's just one of those things where if that doesn't beat you over the head to say stop, what's it going to take? Right? What's it going to take? And you see something like that and you're just like, oh, come on. Could I be so stupid as to ignore that? And the answer is no. No, I can't. You know? I'm sick now. Cigs taste so bad. I can't stand cigarettes. I've never been haven't been a much fan of the cigarettes. The weed, on the other hand, you know, a nice sunset sherbet. You know, nice fire OG. But you're a former smoker, if so, for how long? Well, I haven't smoked cigarettes since high school. And I haven't smoked weed in about a month. So, one a lot longer ago than the other. You know, so it's you know, some people are like, we should just switch to vape, and I'm like, well, how about I just give my lungs a break? How about I just breathe air for a while and see how that goes? You know, and then a lot of people suggest edibles, but it's like, I don't like edibles. I never have. It's like they're all over the place, and you'll hear other weed like Bill Maher has mentioned it. I think Woody Harrelson that they liked weed, but when they went to edibles, they didn't care for it. I'm in that same boat. And it's and you never know, because the people who make those edibles, they like to think that they're scientists, but they're hardly scientists. So it's like, I know they need a THC patch. Actually, you don't. It's like I'm so over it. That's the one thing I'll say, is that weed is not nearly as addictive as cigarettes seem to be. Because I quit weed just by, I took one look at that and I was quit. And it was over. Bye. Casino hands. I'm out. And I know people that, they have a real hard time quitting cigarettes. It really is. In fact, I know a dude, Speaker knows the same guy, who was the drummer we used to work with. That dude used to smoke like crazy. Smoke. And finally, I think it was in his 50s, he finally quit. And every time I saw him, he had a mouthful of Nicorette. He had like really just moved over to the Nicorette. And he was completely addicted to Nicorette gum. And it probably saves his lungs, but it's like, I don't know, is the Nicorette good for you? It's supposed to be a temporary step, and it seemed like he had been chewing it for a good, I saw him again years later, he was still chewing that Nicorette. Had to be a good 5 years later. A cigarette much worse. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard cigarettes are incredibly difficult. Yeah, edibles are a body high, and it's hard to know how it affects you. And quite frankly, I'm not really missing it. So, the first week or two, it's tough sleeping, right? You find out that you get a little restless at night, and probably shouldn't have coffee too late, right? Because you can't just smoke yourself to sleep. But that's a minor adjustment. And I just feel like, it's time. It's time. And so I'm out. And, seeing that, I have a hard time thinking I'm going to go back. Right? I feel like it's, and Speaker probably remembers this. I remember talking about quitting back then, and talking about, do you quit your job and then wind up going back to your job? That was like 1989, 1988. I was talking about that. Here it is, 30 years later, 35 years later? Enough. You having dreams again? No, but I've heard that. I've heard that vivid dreams is one of the, I heard that that's one of the, side effects of quitting. Is, because I've never really lost my dreams, but I feel like that they get more vivid. Right. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Weed is a nice break from reality, but that's a reality that I can't ignore. That is reality, So I was like, unbelievable lucid dream. Yeah, lucid dreams. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Unbelievable lucid dreams for weeks. Yeah. It's okay. If that's the worst part of it, I'll take it. Happy New Year, Martin. It's already 2023 for you, but we're still stuck in 2023 for you. It's 2022 still for us. A little bit more. Weed is not cheap either. Well, weed has come way down. The price has fallen through the floor because my state recently legalized, and everybody jumped into the business. They're even saying there's probably going to be a a shakeout in the next like 2 years where we might lose like 30 to 40% of the businesses because they just can't keep going. You know, where they go from 45 an eighth, right? That's an eighth of an ounce. 45 of an eighth down to 35, down to 20, down to 150 for 8/8, down to $100 for 8/8 for an ounce. You know, they're down to like $100 an ounce. What's the name will tell you? Ben will tell you. It got so crowded up in Canada, the price fell down to like $10 an ounce. That's insane. We have about 3.5 hours to go, right? No, yeah. 3.5? Yeah, about 3.5, right? 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, and roughly 3.5. Really, it's like 50 an ounce there. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. And then what winds up happening is you quit for a while, right? Anyone who's out there smoking quit for a while. Then what happens? You're in a place and somebody's smoking. You say, oh, yeah, I'll take a hit. And then what happens? You get really, really stoned from it because you haven't smoked in a very long time. And now it's like really hitting you. And you're like, oh, my God, do I like this? Maybe I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird how that goes. It hits you in not a good way. It's kind of a weird thing, you know. It's either you're smoking all the time or you're not smoking at all. But I think the occasional smoker, and by that I mean like say like once a quarter, you know, something like that, or twice a year, it's usually not a good time. You know. New Year's in Boston in about 3.5 hours. I know you get pretty mean paranoia, yeah. For a lot of people, I don't think I've ever really had that, but you can, yeah. You know, this is an 83 Kramer, 1983. I put the pickups in, but everything else is stock, except for that second switch, which was there when I bought it. When did I buy this? I guess 2013? 2013 I got this. Oh yeah, you got to get some of the Camp Lejeune money. Yeah, it seems like everybody, there's so many ads out there for that right now. There's probably a limited window to make a claim, and so. Yeah, you want to make some New Year's resolutions? Actually, I'd like to play more guitar. You know, I say that every year, but you know, it's so hard. You wind up doing a whole bunch of you know, stuff around the house, and then you got work, and you got, you know, everything else. I'd like to find more time to play guitar if I can. You know. Oh, Elliot Easton is a very underrated guitar player. Though I feel like lately he's been getting more props. You know. Weed is still legal in New Zealand. Black market going crazy. Much easier to get meth and harder drugs. That's not a good thing. Yeah, probably not enough. Like if you think about dollar per like volume, right? Weed is probably not a good thing to deal with because it's right the amount of profit per, you know, cubic foot. Buy more guitars and amps. Yeah, I think Elliot Easton did have a signature Kramer, and then who was Elliot with? I feel like Elliot was with Dean for a while, but never had a sig with them. Right? He was always. I remember him playing Dean guitars, and then of course Gibson. You know, I feel like he had been with Gibson for a while, like maybe starting in the late '90s or the early 2000s. Happy New Year, Nelson. Yes, is Elliot still with Gibson? I feel like he has been with them for like a while now. Yeah, I don't know the SG, but I do remember the Firebird. But a 2001 Zakk Wylde custom. Nice. You think of those, number 254. You know, any Gibson custom's going to be pretty awesome, and especially a limited edition like Zakk Wylde. Especially now that that's no longer a thing, right? He went on to Wylde Guitars, so they're not making the the Bullseye anymore. At Gibson anyway. Shops opened up literally next one after another. Yeah. Yeah, Brett Ounce is down to $100. Isn't that insane? That is crazy. That's like cheaper than it was in like 1980. Yeah, you remember the Dean ads with Elliot Easton? Thanks, Jesus First. Very much appreciated. What guitar brands are underrated? Probably Vola. I think Vola makes a really nice guitar. I hope they get the respect that they deserve. People are saying LSI. Yeah, Godin and maybe GNL too. Oh, yeah, no, Speaker's got it right. FGN, right? Fujigen. They make an amazing instrument. They were pretty much a jobber for Fender and, I think even Ibanez for a while. But yeah, they're one of the best, the FGN brands. Really good stuff. Sure, Greco, Schecter, any of the ones that are, sort of fly under the radar. Oh, no, Zakk can rip. Zakk's an amazing player. I didn't really, get Zakk Wylde until I finally saw someone playing some of his riffs at like full speed right in front of me. I was like, wow, it's really good. He's, oh, yeah, that's straight out of Zakk Wylde's catalog. It's a Zakk Wylde riff right there. I'm like, yeah, no, you can. That's really good. Lotus. I feel like ESP has always been very expensive. It's like hard to get into the ESP and out of the LTD until what, about $2,000, at least $1,500. Would I ever play a headless guitar? I have one. I have a Steinberger. It's around here somewhere. I've had a couple of headless. I had the Harley Benton. I sold that. I had an Eert headless guitar. I sold that. I sold a bunch of guitars this year. I probably sold a half dozen, maybe more, maybe 10, maybe a dozen. I did sell a bunch of guitars this year. But you know what? I just started looking around. I'm like, this is out of control. I gave some away to a mutual friend of myself and Speaker. And then I sold a bunch on Reverb. I'd never sell this guitar. No, these are too rare, you know. Yeah, the Eert was a nice guitar. I did keep one of the Earts. I have the green telly style one with the roasted neck. Think of all the Earts or E-Art. I think that that was my favorite one. The guitars of 2022 coming. Yeah, I was thinking about that. It's like the ones we lost would be like 40% of the video, but I'd have to go look and think of like what I got this year, because some of them I got and already sold. So it's hard to sit and play to go through them. I guess I could do it with just still shots. Yeah, Rico Kasich died a few years ago. And of course, you find out that, Rick was actually like 74 or something like that. And he was actually born in the 40s. By the time the Cars made it big, he was like in his 30s. Yeah, the one who died young was Ben Orr. He died at 55 or 56 from cancer. It was sad. Yeah, I saw Rick a couple of times. I saw him in LaSalle Music. I saw him in Newbury Comics once, browsing through the records. And I want to say Dave Robinson was in there too at the same time. Maybe Greg was in there too. It's funny because I heard this dude at the door go, "I'm telling you, that's Ben Orr." And he went like running out of there with his friends across the street where the Cars had a studio. And I'm like, "Hey, dummy, Rico Kasich is in the store. And he's like 6'6". Yeah, how are you missing this guy? And he's wearing sunglasses. It's like, how are you missing this?" But he did. He went running out of there across the street to go get Ben Orr's autograph. Yeah, I feel like, Zach took over in 87. I feel like he was, 19 at the time? I feel like he was pretty young. I know, really, right, Ben? How do you miss Rico Kasich? Like, pretty crazy. Ben Orr was the bass player for the Cars. And singer. No, he didn't have Paulina. I feel bad for Paulina. I don't know if you heard about that, but basically, she had found somebody else, and I think they had gotten a divorce or whatever, but that was short-lived or whatever, and he wound up, she's the one who discovered that he had passed away. She was like bringing him his breakfast as she had done every day. And when the will came out, she found out he was cut out. And he had some like nasty words for her, basically saying that she abandoned him. I'm like, abandoned you? She was like literally bringing you breakfast on the day of your death. It's so, I don't know if she tried to contest the will or whatever, but if she was still married and never got divorced, she could take a statutory share in most states. But maybe the divorce was finalized. I'm not sure. Yeah, Ben Orr sings like some of their biggest songs, right, was sung by Ben Orr. He was really the better singer than Rico Kasich, without a doubt. Ben Orr was a much better voice. He sang, Yeah. Yeah, it's an old Kramer. It's an 83. 83. This is 83? Could be. Could be 82, but I doubt it. I think it's 83. 90% sure. It's a B serial number. I'm pretty sure that puts it squarely in 83. She got her own money from the modeling. I don't think so. She was talking like she gave her career up for him because he didn't want her modeling. What do you need to model for? We have plenty of money. You know? Yeah, right. Ben saying drive. Who's gonna drive me home tonight? Yeah, all their all their big ones. Ben Orr was. That's like Rick. I don't care if you hurt me again. Right. That's the Rick stuff. Greg Hawk said like 18. Well, back then, each keyboard had a different sound. There were no patches. You needed to have 18 keyboards if you had 18 different sounds. You had to have like 3 prophets, right? Because each one was dialed in. There was no saving any patches back then for, their biggest hits were between 1980 and 1984, 1978 and 84. And, now, of course, you can just, click a patch and get whatever you want. But back then, it was all by hand. Yeah, Shake It Up was Rick. Like, shake it up. You can hear it. Really good. Yeah, Greg was a small guy. Well, yeah, he was roughly the size of a keyboard. Yeah, but you know what? You got to hand it. I think one of the unsung heroes is the patch creation by Greg Hawkes. Right? I mean, what he did, he really did like nail like some classic synth tones with the resonant filters, the very vowel and vocal sounds. He really did. Some of those sounds are like essential patches on keyboards. Who's the most disappointing here I ever watched play and walked away thinking that sucked? Not too many. Most of the guys I've seen have been, surprisingly like Motley Crue. I was going, oh, here comes the train wreck, but it was not. It was anything but that. It was like really, they were actually really tight. They had their set together. And of course, this isn't like 1985. I don't think they're really doing backing tracks back then. 85, 86, 87. They were killing it. I thought they sounded really good. Surprisingly good, I don't know. It's hard. I can tell you one band that I saw that the sound was like the worst sound of any show I've ever been to. There's nothing that even comes close. Was when I saw Peter Gabriel, because the venue that he was in, they had decided that they were going to extend the balconies like way down. Now it's down so low that we're in the loge, like you're trying to look between a gap of people's heads, right? And this new extended, they probably extended the loge by 10 rows, 15 rows. right? So now it's way down. And, the balcony. They extended the balcony, right? We're in the loge and they extended the balcony. And they have no speakers under there. None. So you're hearing everybody talk. I'm like, I literally can't hear the band. You know, and it was all echo. It was the worst. The best sound of any band I ever heard was I went to go see, in fact, Speaker, you might have been with us for that one. Went to go see Rush in like the late 80s, early 90s, right? Big Money was one of the songs they were doing. And we were like in the loge, like right behind this mixing board, like first row. And we were up high and everything. And, you know, we're at 20 feet behind the mixing board. There's nobody behind the mixing board. And it gets to us. And then it starts the rows and goes up to the front. But they had a speaker all the way up at the back of the balcony, way up behind us, on the two sides and, of course, the front of the house. And you could hear those speakers. I was like, this is the best sounding concert I've ever been to. Unbelievable. You know, just such, it might have been Roll the Bones tour. Yeah, were we with Paul? I forget now. I feel like we were with Brian. I don't think was Paul with us? I don't think so. I think it was me, you, and maybe Brian. And I don't know. I forget now. I think Brian was there, though. Amy Mann, that day we were checking out the cars. The day we were checking out the cars, I want to say Amy Mann was behind the counter at, right, that would have been 83, right? Till Tuesday wasn't a thing. They don't become a thing till like 84, right? Or 85, right? With Voices Carry. And she was behind the counter. I'm pretty sure Amy Mann sold me the import 45 for the Immigrant song so I could get Hey, Hey. You know, What Can I Do? But Zeppelin, that wasn't available on any record at the time. You had to get it on the flip side of the 45. I got like the Polish import. I'm pretty sure she rang that up for me. Hey, what's up in the blues? What's up, buddy? And Aljon too? You know, I never played an aluminum neck Kramer, but I have played some some metal guitars and wasn't crazy about them. So I don't know if the aluminum neck, I feel like that was better for a bass than for a guitar. Hey, what's up, Robert? Okay, for Robert, ready? What can we do? And we're not even drunk yet. Yeah, right. It's always so hard to play. Oh, I know. Yeah, that one's hard. The other one that's really hard, Robert, is the second one. Right. 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 It's like, who plays that, right? The first couple are easy, right? Right? But then that second round, he goes... That one's hard. Yeah, have a happy New Year, Robert. We're gonna be doing the big then there's the outro, yeah. Yeah, that outro. Oh, the other thing is like Top Jimmy. You're like, this is the world's hardest song, and then you find out he's in like in a complete alternate tuning, and it's actually really not a hard song at all. You're like, oh yeah, right, alternate tunings. Damn it. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We got everybody here. I'm gonna find my backing track. There's my backing track. All right, no promises on this, okay? In fact, I'm gonna go to this one so you don't have to look at my face. We'll go to play cam here. Here we go. There you go. You ready? All right. This is the New Year's. I guess we can't say Rockin' Eve. New Year's not Rocking Eve. All right, let me see if I can get this. Ready? All right, a little early on the ending, but you get it. Anyway, that's my gift to you for the end of the year. Wow, wow. Not bad, right? I was working on it earlier today, and I was like, "Damn it, I got to get that. I got to get that down." Oh, thank you, thank you. I'll fix it in post. Exactly. Not too many mistakes. Only about 250 mistakes in that one. Yeah, the guitar is always a good one. You know, can't go wrong with a Kramer. We had a saying back in the day: you can't go wrong with Kramer. So, I'm just glad I got through it. I know I need to write a farewell song for Mr. Krabs. Goodbye, Mr. Krabs. The body will decay, but your spirit lives on in our memories. Oh, thanks, the Lamb. Happy New Year to you from Cardiff, South Wales. I've been watching you ever since the early triple X rated. Yeah, for the many more. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think I have 2 friends from Wales. Chris Buck, of course. I don't know if he's in Cardiff. And the other one is Perry, who I can never pronounce his name. I just call him Perry. I think he plays in, what the hell is the name of that band? It's a big band. Can't think of it. I met him at one of the events. Is it time to make a crab emoji? We might have to. Yeah, happy trails to the clam. We're going to miss you, Crabby and Clammy, together at last. In the great chowder in the sky. Right? You gotta do that last big note, you know. You're almost one of your final notes has to be the highest note in the solo, and then you can do a little something like that. It was Worcester, now that you mention it. Yeah, no, you're right, Speaker. It was Worcester. It was Worcester when we saw Rush. Absolutely, it was Worcester. You know, that's what I remember. I remember it being Worcester. And I remember we were in the lower loge, you know, like right at the end of the floor. You know, and we were like that first row. We got there, we were like, oh my God, these are really good seats. You know, I mean, they're far away, but this stage isn't that far away. And I forget, they might have even had, did they have screens by then? I forget, maybe not. Yeah, it was like quadraphonics. It really did sound amazing. Call each other. Yes, Danny from Worcester. From Worcester. Worcester! Ever see Tommy Shaw at Daryl's house? I don't know if I ever saw the Tommy Shaw episode. Cheap Trick were really good on there, but Daryl sort of forced his way in on that one. Yeah, see, in the blues, you're already in the future. We're just stuck in the past over here. Well, thanks, Randy. I'm hoping to play a little bit more guitar in 23. I'll have more time on my hands now that I won't be hitting the dispensaries any longer. RJ shows how to fry real spring rolls. I know. Come on, RJ. I think RJ has to start a cooking channel in 2023. You know? Uh-oh, we must have crossed over or getting close to it because YouTube wants me to run an ad. It's like the third time they've suggested an ad. You know, now would be a good time to run an ad. Next Christmas. For the Christmas ad spectacular. I don't think I ever saw Styx. But I always loved their cover of When I See Beth Smiling. I know I owe you guys ads, but we'll wait. Do your worst. I have premium. Yeah, there you go. No, you just have to put your mouse on the ad button and go, I'm going to tell you the secret to guitar playing right now, and bam, hit the ad button. Yeah, one of the kids is in college. That's going good. She had a great semester. It was really great. And I got another one who's got to get his applications in soon. But he was just sick, so we'll see. Oh, Nelson. Dude. You just paste ads for the rest of the show. SFB Appreciation Society for over 11 months to recognize. Oh, thank you, dude. Entertainment Steve, you the man. Happy New Year. Inside SFB Sucre. Oh, thank you so much, Nelson. That's very, very generous. I didn't want to say this, but I'm just saying Nelson's making all of the rest of you look real bad right now. I didn't want to say it, but I'd say that's super appreciated, man. Yeah, Renegade felt like Styx's version of a Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know what it was about Styx, but I just remember that there were a lot of religious people when Styx got really big that called them the most dangerous band. You know, probably because maybe Styx, the YX has some sort of meaning in some religion or something like that. But man, they had it out for Styx. I was like, really? You cool with Black Sabbath, but you have a problem with Styx. Interesting. You know, Styx was very rock Broadway. Yeah, they that was the singer there, right? No, in the blues, you're good. You're cool. And so is superfan Gary Davlin. Yeah. Is a river Styx in the Bible? I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy about that. Yeah, Dennis DeYoung, right? The singer there. He had that real. You could really see that guy being sort of a Broadway style singer. You know, but my God, with Come Sail Away was such a huge hit. I just remember that song just being on fire. 76? Was that when that was out? 1976, 1977? All right, dudes, it's 9:01. I should probably wrap this up. I really appreciate all the contributions, especially, geez, Nelson, that was very, very generous. It's super, super appreciated. But, I love all of my crew. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me in 2022. We'll be doing more in 2023. You know, I'll probably do a few of those videos where I go like, where I look like this and I go, you know, that's the thumbnail. And, you know, I'm going like, and the title will be like, I can't do this anymore. Or, you know, it's finally come to this. Or, you know, that's it. I quit. And then I'll be like, yeah, I quit using this pick and now I'm going to use this one. Wah, wah. I got to do a few of those. Happy New Year to everybody. I might be up later because I have a feeling I'm going to be up to midnight anyway. There's a fresh pot of coffee up there. That doesn't hurt either. Yeah. So, you know, I'll do a few clickbait ones this year with me like going, you know, nice stank face. Or the incredulity look. What else do we got? The, you know, we'll come up with some. We'll come up with some good ones. You know. All right, dudes. Happy New Year. Super mega thanks to anyone who contributed tonight. Always a great thanks to anyone who hung out tonight. And of course, bro fist to my mod squad. Hashtag mod squad. And I will see all of you guys in 2023, which is getting here soon. And there you go. And I will see you next year with all the clickbaity thumbnails that I can come up with. And we'll do this at least 52 more times next year. At least 52. All right, dudes. No, you rock. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve. And I'll see you in the next one. There you have it. All right, dudes. Maybe there'll be one later tonight. No promises, though. But we will, we'll see. How's that for commitment? All right. No, you rock. All right. We're out of here. Sounds like a plan. There you go. All right. Later.